Hey guys, Hailey Lain, aka Key Black here, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Cuff, yet again from Anime Matsuri 2023's Artist Alley at the Calais Works booth with Jess and Monpian.
Hello!
And we're going to kind of continue on this Yu-Gi-Oh! High here, talking about Dark Side of Dimensions, specifically about a scene that happens early on in the movie between Aigami and Seto Kaiba.
And for this discussion, we're gonna need some Pegranano. Oh yeah.
That's the good shit.
Henry, did you get any more Pegranano?
Henry! Don't come home unless you got more Pellegrino.
So, yeah, one of my favorite scenes in the movie, and remember, the only reason we watch this movie is because Takahashi actually wrote it and you know, funded it and really used it to get a bit of a correction to the end of his story out. The best scene was when Aigami, the bad guy, confronts Kaiba and tries to basically steal the pieces of the Millennium puzzle that he just excavated from the Tomb of the Pharaoh.
Which he excavated. Sorry.
It's like, which he desecrated, I mean excavated.
Just love it. Anyways, please go.
I mean, remember, this movie starts off with, you know, some, you know, multi-Earth weird imagery, but then it zooms in to the Kaiba Corp space elevator.
Yes.
Space elevator attached to the space station.
Puzzle. It's like, how?
He's just staring at it like, yes.
Finally.
Finally, I have them all.
God.
But anyway, so the it's a great opening to the movie because it's, you know, it shows a shot right in the middle of it. So then the movie goes and we see he's broken into the tomb and he's excavating out the buried Millennium items.
It's like, you should not be doing this.
You have an obsession, Kaiba, and we love it because it's historically accurate to what a priest might go through if he failed to send his pharaoh after serving him faithfully.
Speaking of which, if you guys missed the panel, we did film the entire thing, and I will make a link to that when that's available online.
So we have Kaiba about to collect, the puzzle, and then Aigami shows up and he's like, no, I'm taking that. You're not bringing the pharaoh back. And Kaiba's like, the hell I'm not. So then, of course, this is actually beautifully done. Here we go, guys. Get ready. I'm about to praise a card game. So it's beautifully done because this bad guy, his power is he can just like disappear people. He can just disintegrate them. And as he tries to disintegrate Kaiba powers up his freaking dual disc. And it amplifies his ego. And he just goes, no, your power doesn't work anymore.
That has never happened before. How is he not disappearing?
Yeah, it was fantastic because, again, if you're going off of the Egyptians and what they thought a person was made of, yeah, if someone has that much charisma, clearly they've got not only their Ka, but the command of many other Ka, they just go, no. And that's what Seto did. And so, you know, Seto's then like, all right, you know, like, I'm taking this kid out. And I think at that point, Aigami's like, I think it's time to die.
Well, and Aigami's cards are all basically just cheesing it. Like, I'm not a card game expert. I never really played the game, as I've mentioned before.
They are cheese.
They're just like, it's just, each one of them has like 6 different effects or something. They all activate in this big string, and it's like, this game is completely broken.
But remember, Takahashi said, look, I just have an idea of what I want to happen with the story, and then I make the cards that allow that to happen. So they have a card battle, and it's a bunch of really cheap stuff that this Aigami kid's just pulling out to basically lock down any ability for Seto to do anything. And once he's backed into a corner, and you know, it's implied that, you know, if he falters, if he loses, then yeah, he is gonna die. Yeah. And so instead of you know, pulling another card when it's his turn from his dual disc setup he's got, he just goes, defeat in this room is not permissible. I was always meant to be the one to send the pharaoh. And again, that's priest talk.
Yep.
And he says, because I failed to do that, his ghost wanders in my mind to this day.
Yep.
And again, that's accurate to what the Egyptians believed. If you failed to send someone, if you failed to secure their afterlife, then they would wander forever because they would experience the second death, and that is not good. In fact, that's actually what Aigami seems to subject Jonochi to.
Yeah,
you know, when he's like disappearing from the world. So anyway, Seto is just like, I cannot allow myself to die here. I have got to send the pharaoh. And he just looks down and he slams the ground of the tomb, the temple with his hand, yells, "Draw," and summons a god.
Oh, not just any god, and not just the card Obelisk the Tormentor, the version of Obelisk that appears in Millennium World, like
the manga, Takahashi's version.
The Egyptian god, not the card.
So Takahashi basically has Seto, Pharaoh Seto, call upon the powers of one of the Ka at his disposal, because the Egyptians believed that the pharaohs could not only, they not only had the power of their own Ka, but the power of many other Ka, including those of gods.
And Aigami even commented on that when it happened. He's like, wait a second, that's the pharaoh's own servant. Are you telling me Kaiba has the ability to call on the pharaoh's personal servant?
And of course, the plausible deniability is like, oh, are the memories of the pharaoh still here? And it's like, one of them, yes, and one is actually right here, right now.
Exactly. Oh my god.
So yeah, when that scene happened, and there was, there's hardly any card stuff associated with it. It was mostly
literally just, I'm gonna summon God and end the duel.
Yep, just punches Aigami, and then goes, all right, deuces, nerd. Like.
Yeah, it technically doesn't end the duel. He's got 100 life points left, and so it's like, he continue? But it's like, this is not worth my time. I'm hopping to my waifu gym.
Yeah,
we're gonna go back.
He got what he wanted, which was the puzzle pieces, and he bolts.
Big brother, it's gonna take 8 years like it did Yugi. I'll solve it in 6 hours.
That's only, what was the line? It was something like that. That's indicative of his childlike mind. What I love about the Japanese version of this is you don't really get just how much disdain Seto Kaiba has for everyone he interacts with, because every single word he uses in the Japanese version is indicating disgust, is indicating a lack of respect. Like he refers to Yugi as like, Kisama, like constantly.
Like bastard or something like that.
Well, the problem is with Japanese language, there's not really a one-for-one. It's all in how you're addressing someone, and Kisama is a pretty big insult. And he's just throwing it around instead of like anata or kare or, kun or, kimi. He literally just calls this guy like asshole or like, I'm not going to use more colorful language here.
Sure.
But
you get the idea.
You get the idea. And again, Seto Kaiba in this movie is just phenomenal, but that was the scene that really sold this for me, because I'm not a fan of the animu. I'm about the mangoes here, the juicy mangoes.
Yep. Oh my god, and there's yet more to talk about with this movie, but I think this is a good point to cut off this episode as well. Expect more in the next one. Thank you again, Jess and Monpian.
Thank you.
Woo, thanks.
And thank you guys for listening and for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.